Hey there, Facebook. How are you? Hello. All right, there we go. Let me share this really quick. Hi, how is everybody doing? There I am. Let me share this to my group really quick. Hello, everybody, come on in. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Kendra with KendraKWoods.com. If you are a replay viewer and you're watching the replay of this, go ahead and hashtag replay in the comments so that I can definitely say hi to you and connect with you. So, I haven't been on in quite a while. And I wanted to come on today and just talk about mindset work for a moment. Because if you don't know, that is what I do. I am a mindset coach and I help ambitious women take the chaos in their mind and transform it in a beautiful way by helping them recognize and release their limiting beliefs and emotional blocks that are keeping them from living out their full potential. And so essentially I help my clients become unstuck and unstoppable, right? And so today I want to talk about mindset work for a moment because something came to my attention the other day. I was in my mastermind group and it was my turn to do the hot seat. And I was just talking about, the work that I do and how I sometimes have this tendency to look at something and want to break it down and make it into this complex thing, right? Like I can sometimes take the simplest things and turn it into something that is difficult when it doesn't need to be difficult, right? So that is kind of my own journey that I work on every single day, is giving myself space to realize that it's just my mind telling me that it's hard. It's just an idea that's in my mind that says that something has to be complex, that something has to be hard, that something has to be difficult, right? And that I have the ability to choose a new way of thinking, right? To choose to look at the situation differently. And so this brought me around to just really thinking about mindset work. And hey, Corey, how are you? Thinking about mindset work and how sometimes we can get so caught up in the fact that we want to shift our minds, that we want to locate these limiting beliefs that we have. We want to locate these emotional blocks that we have so bad that we look at some of the techniques that are available to us and we think, oh, it can't be that simple. And what I want to share with you today is that really our minds are wired. Hey, Janine, our minds are wired to look for, they're wired to look for the difficulty, right? Like our minds are wired in such a way to protect us and to keep us safe, right? Like that's the job of our mind, is to make sure that we survive. And so when we start rubbing up against these limiting beliefs that we have that maybe say that we aren't good enough, that say that we aren't qualified enough to do the work that we want to do, that say that we, that say that we can't, fully express ourselves because what if people say this or what people think? When we start rubbing up against those beliefs and we start looking at them and shining a light on them, our mind kind of goes in freak out mode. Like, wait a minute, what are you doing? And it brings up this fear in us that, oh my gosh, why does this have to be so hard? And here's what I want to share with you. The reason it feels that way, and it's a feeling, right? When someone says, Kendra, this is so hard, or this is so hard for me to shift this, again, it's an idea and it's a feeling, right? And that feeling is there because what your mind really wants you to do is back away from it, right? Because as human beings, we naturally back away from things that are uncomfortable, from challenges, and from things that are outside of our normal habitual way of doing things, right? So when we start rubbing up against those, our mind goes into freak out mode. And so what I want you to understand is that the reason that happens is because the thoughts that we have that are not serving us have been thoughts that you have been thinking over and over and over and over again for your whole life. They are beliefs that have been handed down to you through your parents, right? You know, they are things that you have learned growing up, right? Maybe you learned that, you know, money was scarce, or maybe you learned that that it wasn't safe for you to speak your mind and to be expressive, right? Maybe you learned that it was greedy to ask for more or to want more, okay? So those beliefs and those emotions are in your mind as neural pathways, right? Because you've been thinking them and believing them your whole entire life. And so when you start tapping into those and you start looking at them and you start saying to yourself, oh, I want to change that. I don't like that. I want to do it this way. You know, your mind is like, wait. You're trying to change a whole system that I've become accustomed to. Now you want to put another system in here? What are you doing? And so what I want to invite you to do today is when you look at, you know, doing your mindset work, and there's many different techniques and tools that you can use to shift your mind, right? There's meditation, there's journaling, there's neuro-linguistic programming, there's hypnosis, there's mirror work that you could do. There's saying your affirmations, right? There's visualization. There's all types of amazing tools that you can use to shift your mindset. But what I find happens is that people start doing these things, right? And then when they don't get the result that they want in a specific amount of time, it becomes too hard. And what I want you to hear me say is this: mindset work works, right? And it can be easy if you understand that it takes sustained effort over time. Let me know if that makes sense. It takes sustained effort over time, right? It takes you really working with these tools daily. It takes you even throughout your day constantly correcting yourself, right? And this is something that I do, right? When I'm starting a project that I'm working on, my mind wants to say, how are you going to do this? You don't even know how this is going to come together and what it's going to look like and all this stuff. And I then get to remind myself that, no, wait a minute. Let me step back and realize that this gets to be easier, right? This gets to be done in a way that is simple for me. And sometimes we look at the simple and we think to ourselves that is too simple, right? Can it really be this simple? Yes, it can, right, Janine? Consistency. You know, I'm working with a mentor right now, and she is helping me to grow my business. And a lot of the things that she's sharing with me, like, I'm doing them, right? And the other day I went through my, I blocked out some time for some things that I wanted to get done, and I did everything, and I was super productive. And at the end of it, I thought to myself, okay, can it really be that easy? Because we have this conditioning that things have to be hard, right? And so the only thing that separates any of us from the people that we look at who are successful, right? Like, I look at some of my mentors and I think, oh, I want to be there, right? I want to get to that level. So when you start looking at people and you want to get to that level and you want to get to that success level, the only difference is the way that that person thinks compared to how you think. Thank you, Corey. Yeah, simple strategies implemented daily. Exactly. The only difference is that that person thinks in a different way, right? And the way that you can get your mindset to that level of thinking like a person who has the success that you desire is consistency, just like Janine said, and strategies implemented daily, like Corey says, is doing it every single day. And it becomes a practice. Because here's the thing, you're always going to be evolving. Always. I used to think that I would, read some affirmations and then boom, like, all right, I'm done with that. I don't need to say that that I am enough and that I am needed and that I am necessary anymore. I don't need to say that anymore. No, You still will have you still will have times when you need to say those things, because every new level that you get to, you're going to bump up against some beliefs. You're going to start rubbing up against some emotional blocks that are there, and you're going to start poking that bear that's been sleeping because you haven't been to that level, and you're going to have to remind yourself again. So it's a continuous process, okay? And the piece that plays up against this as well is when I hear people say, you know, Kendra, this is so hard. You know, why is it so hard? It's so challenging. I also want you to look at, if you find yourself in that space, get clear on how you see yourself. How do you see yourself? Right? So I'll use me as an example. So for me growing up, I saw a lot of, you know, hustling, right? I saw, you know, my mother working 3 jobs, busting her butt to make money and still not making ends meet. And I just saw a lot of hustle. I saw a lot of strife, right? And so as a little girl growing up, that's what it became. Oh, okay, well, if I want to create something in this world, I've got to go hard, right? I've got to be stressed out. And I know this makes no sense to the logical mind, but when you're small and you're taking in information to learn about how to live in this world, you take it at face value, right? And so I saw that. I saw the struggle, okay? And so as I've grown into adulthood, then that became my way of thinking that, oh, okay, to get where I need to get, it means that I've got to struggle to get there. Or to get where I want to be, that means I've got to, you know, get there in a way that's painful. Right? And if you're watching right now, you know, send me some love hearts or some likes and let me know if you resonate with that, right? Maybe you have, you know, seen growing up how your parents did things, and then you automatically believe that, oh, this is the way it gets to be done, or it has to be done. And that's not the case, right? You get to decide how you want to show up and how you want to see yourself. So a lot of times when somebody says to me, Kendra, this is so hard, I'm struggling, this doesn't make any sense, and you know, I'm sabotaging, I'm procrastinating, all this good stuff, the question then becomes, all right, do you see yourself moving through this process in a way that is empowering for you? Or do you see yourself in your mind struggling? Do you see yourself struggling to get through this process? Do you see yourself struggling to get to the next level? Do you see yourself working hard and stressed out, getting to the next level? Right? Because then it becomes the process of shifting your identity, of shifting the self-image that you have about yourselves. So Corey says, yes, some of us have to remind ourselves every day of our value, right? Others can look around the world every day and see constant reminders of their value to the world, right? It's we constantly have to remind ourselves. And this is where, you know, I like to say I am a huge believer in taking personal responsibility for our lives. Right? And realizing that, you know, you may see things in the world and see other people doing things, and you may automatically think like, oh my gosh, how do I compete with that? Or how do I get out there and actually do this thing and be successful? And it all comes back to coming back into yourself, choosing to make a decision on what you want to believe. What do you want to believe? All right. So let's not make it so difficult, like, oh my gosh, this is hard, I can't do this. No, what do you want to believe? What do you want to believe? Do you want to believe that you're successful? Do you want to believe that you are valuable? Do you want to believe that you are an influential woman who's creating global impact? Is that what you want to believe? Perfect. Let's start integrating that into your being. Let's start reprogramming and understanding these beliefs and emotions that are going on inside of you that are contradicting that, okay? So it gets to be easy if we let it. Now, I'm not saying that mindset work is not work, because it's work. It's work. It's going to take some effort, right? It's going to take time. And the thing is, you know, sometimes people can come into working with me or into doing their own mindset work, and they underestimate the time that it takes to create these shifts, right? And we all do it because we live in a society where we want everything now, right? So I want to shift my mindset now. So why isn't it happening? And so, you know, having that mindset of wanting it now and having an expectation that the time that's going to take is shorter than what it really is, really sets us up for that frustration. Okay? Here's the thing. It's the simple tools and strategies that are the most powerful and the most effective in creating the shifts. It really is, right? Now you can go deep with it. You can have shifts that take place by simply stating affirmations, right? You can have mindset shifts that take place by, having a meditation practice in place every single day. You can have a complete mindset shift by incorporating habits into your daily life that support where you want to go, right? You can have complete mindset shifts by, speaking affirmations out loud to yourself. But you can also have a shift and go even deeper than that and go into hypnosis, right? Where you really, are getting deeper into the unconscious mind, right? Or you can do the neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, with coaches or mentors or a practitioner or whatever, and really, go even deeper. But the thing is, you can go there and you can go here as well and do the simple things. But it's looking at it and realizing that it doesn't have to be hard. It's opening yourself up to the possibility that, yes, I can shift my mind. Yes, I can change my belief system. Yes, I can reprogram my mind by doing the things that I need to do every single day consistently over a period of time. All right? And the thing that's important with this too, when you're doing this work, you've got to have the environment and the support around you to hold space for you while you're doing this work. Okay, that's been such a big lesson for me this year, is that I've done a lot of healing work this year, right? I've done the hypnosis, I've done the NLP work, I've done the, the affirmations. I do like all of those things, right? But when you don't have the support system around you of people who are on the same path as you, right? When you're not in an environment with people around you on a daily basis who are positive thinkers, who have a growth mindset, when you don't have that, it really it can really hinder your progress. So the people that you hang around on a daily basis, every single day, the environments that you're in really do also play an important part in you cultivating a mindset for success, period. Okay. I was telling my daughter this the other day because she was telling me about one of her friends, and I said to her, you know what? I said, she sounds like a really good influence. She was like, what do you mean? She's 7. So my daughter was like, what do you mean an influence? And so I went to explain to her that, when you're around people, you take on, even though you don't realize it, you take on the characteristics and the energy of those people that you're around. So if you're constantly around people who are complaining all the time, who are talking about how they hate their job and their boss is horrible, and who are talking stuff about their husband and this person and that person, you're taking in that energy. You're taking in those words and all that work that you've been doing to shift out of that mode of scarcity and judgment and lack is just being, it's for naught. But when you're around people who are speaking life into their own life and speaking life into other people, and who are talking about the amazing things they're doing in their life, who are talking about the businesses that they're creating and the books that they're writing and the seminar they went to and all those good things, then that automatically, causes you to rise up. Right? And it's good nutrients, if you will, for the mindset that you are cultivating, for the seeds that you're planting every single day. So let's allow mindset work to be easy. And it comes down to you owning who it is that you want to be in this world. It comes down to you owning the beliefs that you choose to believe. It comes down to you setting those boundaries and saying, no, I'm not available for that anymore. I'm not available for, the gossiping anymore. I'm not available for, this language around it's hard and I'm not going to make it. And I'm no longer available for looking at people who are making lots of money and saying they're greedy and they're horrible. I'm not available for that anymore. Because the moment you start making yourself unavailable for that, you then start making yourself available for what you really do want. All right. So the other thing that I wanted to mention really quick is, I said this earlier, that yes, you've got to do the simple strategies and use the simple tools every single day over a course of time, right? Is you've got to have a level of accountability, and that's where your environment and your support is really important, right? If you have friends, like I tell my friends, and I told my mastermind group yesterday, I said, look here, I said, call me on my stuff. If I, veer off over here into sabotaging myself and thinking I can't do this, I need you to call me on my stuff. So have people in your circle that can hold you accountable and call you on your stuff, right? And then you've got to be able to have the stamina and the endurance to keep moving forward. And in order to increase that stamina and endurance, you've got to create those boundaries. You've got to start standing firm and having your own back, right? And you've got to start believing and knowing that you are the most important piece to this puzzle in the life that you live. Okay. And I know as women, sometimes we can get on this thing where, well, I'm a mom and I'm a wife, right? And we want to give to our husbands and to our kids and make sure they're taken care of and they're all good. And then we forget about self. Okay. And so you've got to be willing to be courageous enough to say, no, I matter. I've got to take care of me. I have got to take care of all of this and do what I need for all of this so that I can be the best for you and for you and for you. Right? So that's what I want to leave you with today, is giving yourself permission to create those boundaries and to allow shifting your mindset to be something that's easy, right? It's going to be work. It's going to be work, but it doesn't have to, you don't have to go through the process struggling and stressed and making it hard. You get to choose. All right. So last but not least, I want to invite you to my virtual purpose planning workshop that is happening on December 19th. This is my second annual virtual planning, purpose planning workshop. And this is about preparing you for 2019. So we're going to be definitely stepping into getting clear on what your vision is and what your goals are. But one thing I really want to make note to here is this workshop is not just about you setting some goals and, making a vision board and doing all those good things, which that is wonderful and fine. But I'm also going to be taking you through your beliefs behind the things that you say that you want. So helping you get clear on any beliefs or emotional blocks that are in your way that could prevent you from getting and acquiring the things that you desire in 2019, okay? So it's definitely going to have a mindset aspect around it. That's going to be the container will be in is mindset work, but it's about me helping you get clear on your goals, helping you step into that 2.0 version of the person who achieves those goals, right? And sharing with you how I have used the same process that I'm going to share with you to create and come into the accomplishments that I've come into in my own life. So I want to invite you to that. I'll put the link in the comments. You can go and reserve your space. It's going to be December 19th, and it more than likely would be at night, like at 8 o'clock Central Time, my time. And it'll be for 2 hours. We'll be live for 2 hours. And so I'm going to share the amazing, juicy content with you, but then also working with you to answer your questions, to help you identify your limiting beliefs and what's holding you back from getting and assuming the things that you desire to have in the next year. All right. So I'll leave that in the comments, and thank you all so much for being here and for watching. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. Again, if you're a replay viewer, still leave your comments. I want to see them. And if you have questions, reach out to me. And if you want help to recognize and release your limiting beliefs or your emotional blocks, just send me a message and we'll talk, okay? All right. Love you guys so very much. Thank you for being with me today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.